just surviving. Everything is about survival. They're there to put food and water on the table. They're there to look after their kids, and their lives are simple, and maybe that's better. And then we're sitting here in our privileged country complaining about how we have no time because you have to go to work and we're broke. It's like if you put yourself into a situation where you had to survive, so maybe people should be more ruthless on themselves. So this is Antananarivo. As you can see, it is very much I think it's the 6th poorest country on the planet, and it's just hustle down here. It's very much a survival mode. As you can see, look down there, you just see all the people. It's 9 a.m. or what is it, 8:30 a.m. and it is go time. I don't have the statistics on how many people live here, but I think it's very, very, very populated, and it is something that is quite confronting, to be honest, because apparently here the crime rate is quite high in terms of petty theft and even violent theft. So you will get robberies and muggings apparently, just because everyone's surviving. So you're not recommended to go outside in the street with cameras or with electronics or with valuables. So personally, I don't normally buy into a lot of these warnings, and I just think that it's there for propaganda, but I guess it is there for safety. And after reading some stuff online, this does seem like a valid concern here in Antananarivo. But at the same time, I do think that I want to go out and just have a suss around, go for a little walk and see what else is going on out there. I almost like the confrontation. I like the challenge of being in uncomfortable situations, but at the same time I want to stay safe because I do have Laura with me. If I was by myself, I'd probably feel more okay, but with Laura and the fact that she's with me, I don't really want to put ourselves in danger, so I'll keep it safe. But yeah, it's interesting. We're just having breakfast here on the rooftop, but yeah, it's an interesting place for sure. So the people who live here are called Malagasy, so like Australian Malagasy, same thing. As you can see, there's a lot of people just down there, just living, clothes hanging on roofs and people doing their thing. As you can see, quite interesting just seeing the life that people live just to survive. But yeah, I feel a little bit uncomfortable just because like I'm here in this like place with my camera and just like vlogging how everyone is poor. I wanted to get the drone out on the roof, but I honestly feel uncomfortable doing it just because I almost feel bad, but maybe not sure why. But yeah, what we have noticed just in the hotel, and I read it online last night, is there is actually a thing with French men, and I could be wrong here, I've just read like 1 or 2 articles, but I've already seen 2 examples of it in the hotel. Young Malagasy women with old French men, so it's almost like they come here to, I don't know if they get like married and take them away or if it's just full-on prostitution, but it's pretty fucked. I'm just seeing like an old ass man with a Malagasy woman who's quite young, but yeah, it's I guess that's just the way of survival. If you could get money by selling yourself, got to find a way to live, I guess. But it is quite sad. But yeah, I'd love to explore this place and really get into the depths of it, but don't think we'll be doing that. Maybe on the day after we get back. We do have another half day here. We do fly into Antananarivo at like 10:30 p.m. Whereas this time we're just staying here for a day, it's overnight, and then we're heading to Nosy Bay, which is an island up north, which is a 2-hour flight with a propeller plane, just to see more of like the beachy stuff, which is where most of the tourists go. But yeah, the actual city here is quite confronting, but I like it at the same time. It's quite interesting. It makes you feel like you have a bit of perspective, because ultimately these guys that live here are just surviving. Everything is about survival. They're there to put food and water on the table. They're there to look after their kids. it's a very different life to what we live in Australia. And I made a video on this about India, how people are just happy to survive and their lives are simple, and maybe that's better. Like honestly, they're happy with money and no money and play soccer and no electronics and literally put food on the table and survive, and they're good as long as they're surrounded with their family. But yeah, just a very different life to what we live. So puts things into perspective. Something that actually makes me a little bit. I want to make a video on this. Is like people in Australia who complain about not having enough money, and like you see people here who literally have to work to survive. If they don't work, they don't survive. In terms of they won't have food, water, money. And then we're sitting here in our privileged country complaining about how we have no time because you have to go to work, and we're broke because we've got a mortgage that we shouldn't have invested into because we have no idea about how money works. And it's just like we don't need these things that apparently are pushed on us. But to say that, it might get a little bit of a rinsing online, cop a lot of hate. But all I'm trying to say is that people who are needing to survive will do the work, and people in Australia who don't need to survive because they don't have to work won't do the work, and then they'll complain that they have no money. And it's quite embarrassing when people say that they don't have enough time or they don't have enough fucking whatever. It's like if you put yourself into a situation where you had to survive, you would. So maybe people should be more ruthless on themselves when they say these things. But maybe I'm just talking shit. Who knows? Anyway, I'm gonna go have breakfast with Laura. But yeah, nice little place. I'd love to sort of spend a week here and just explore and put myself in uncomfortable situations. But yeah, maybe another time.